BehindTheMaskPresents.com here again with another week of our weekly Walking Dead podcast. This week we're discussing episode 7 of season 4 entitled Dead Weight. My name is Aaron, and with me as always is River and Pat.
Hey.
Howdy, folks.
You know, this really serves as a second part to last week's episode, and I'm just going to go out and say it. I was right, kind of, for Darren to be different. Darren to be different because, okay, it was a governor-themed episode. I just wanted to be right. And technically, at the very end, we got
Jesus.
Come on.
You haven't been right all season. You just might as well quit while you're behind.
No, dude, all I said was we will see them. And it did. It'll, segue. And we got that. But, you know, as far as what happened in the episode, everybody saw it coming. We knew he was going to take over Martinez. He was going to stab him in the back. And he was going to, adopt this new group. And, I mean, pretty much what happened is what I think we all said would happen, as a general whole. I really liked the episode, though. I mean, it gave further validation, and it reminded us that the governor is a total sociopath. You know, the last episode, it was like, oh, he's Mr. Goody Two-Shoes. It kind of leaves you with this weird feeling in your stomach, like, I don't want to like the guy. We already discussed that. But like I said, this time, okay, we were kind of welcomed into the mind of this freaking crazy sociopath.
It was kind of funny because 10 minutes after the episode aired, there's T-shirts going up on Facebook. I saw that said want to play golf, and it had the governor's face on it. It's really? That was quick.
Oh shit. Well, I mean, with Photoshop and modern technology these days, kids can do anything.
That's true.
And I didn't. By the way, okay, so let's just kind of fill. Everybody knows if you're listening to this, you watch the episode, but. He goes in with Martinez, and, he's acting cool like we all knew he would. And there's obviously a conflict of ego or whatever's going on. I didn't think he was going to do him on top. Not do him, but you know what I mean? Kill him on top. I didn't think he was going to do him on top of that trailer.
You didn't think it, but you were hoping for it.
I was hoping it. I was ready, man. But because I figured, okay, he's gonna get him out in the middle of the woods and somewhere where a walker was, so he could or a biter as they call it, so he have a nice story to justify it. But I didn't realize that pit of walkers was right there, so that kind of whatever. But still, man, right where anybody could have walked up and saw it. I'm going to nail him. Damn it, sounds sexual again. I'm going to nail him, right, with a golf club. That's sexual, too.
Well, they were kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Kinda. I mean, where was the rest of the group at that time? Because they were on top of the trailer. That I thought.
Well, I think it was kind of implied that they drove somewhere nearby where that pit was, and they just happened to be parked next to a pit.
Well, he's the leader. He's on the edge of the camp, so he's waiting for shit to go down.
Yeah, it could have been his. It could have been his trailer too. Yeah, you're right.
Either way, well. It just seemed like from the last scene when they were all having their barbecue, and by the way, we've got what's her face's Maggie lookalike sister. She's now a lesbo, and you could see that a mile away. That first look they gave each other.
That was kind of the highlight of the episode. One of them.
What? Just the fact that she is a lesbian?
No, just the fact that the governor is he's living even larger than we thought last week.
Dude, I don't know, man. Doesn't do anything for me, man. I can't tell which one's the chicken and which one's the rooster, man, because they both are not wearing sleeves. They both got their sleeves ripped off. And it doesn't do anything. It's just kind of they're throwing it in there to throw it in there, like, oh, we're gonna make it more diverse. The lesbians and gay people exist in the zombie apocalypse. Whatever, fine. That's realistic. I'm all for realism. Whatever. I just think people are growing really attached really fast. Even the governor with Maggie lookalike, they've replaced each other with, each other's spouses that are absent, instantly. Talking to each other, embracing each other as if they've been married for 20 years. Do you trust me? Yes, I trust you.
Well, the governor just wants to get his wick wet, dude.
Yeah, but at the same time, in this instance, hypothetical, do you think that, I think that might be kind of how people might react?
I do think that's exactly how people, nature would kick in, and of course. People that have experienced loss and whatever, because that's the way it is. It's not like I don't get a feeling like they love each other. I get a feeling like, hey, this woman is replacing the governor's wife, and whoever the governor is replacing, whoever she had in her life, and it's just filling that void. Because same thing with the girl and the lesbian, man. They basically just gave each other a wink and said something, and then all of a sudden they're snuggling up together.
Well, you don't have much to choose from in the zombie apocalypse.
We've already been over this, man. There ain't much to choose from, but coincidentally, there's actually pretty good stuff to choose from because nobody's ugly.
Wow,
but anyway, they're all getting pretty lucky. But isn't it funny how they all sleep like a big pile of rats in the same mattress? The governor in the last episode totally had sex next to the sister and the daughter,
and we forgot to mention that last week. That was kind of weird.
It was kind of weird, but whatever. You adapt to new environments.
Bullshit. You could go outside of the fucking truck.
Yeah.
Hold on. Go back to sleep, sweetie. Mommy's gonna get some real quick.
Well, and then in this episode too, they had that shot where they're all laying together and the two lesbians are like hugged up to each other. I'm like, everybody's all right with this in the zombie apocalypse. Like, no, like the daughter's not asking any questions. Like, why is she kissing her down there? And
there's no homophobia in the Walking Dead universe.
I guess not, man. They don't know what zombies are. There's no homophobia. They don't know how to watch their. I mean, I don't. Whatever.
Hey, we'll see some zombie people action here pretty soon. Some necro.
There you go.
Well,
then we know they're really reaching for ratings.
I don't know, but like I said, back to the governor doing what he did to Martinez. We all saw it coming, but I didn't see it coming on top of the trailer like that. But anyway, whether or not the people were all away and whatever, they had their privacy. Of course, when I saw the pit was right there, I'm like, okay, the perfect crime. But still, man, those people sure did pass it off really quickly. Well, he was playing golf and he must have got drunk and fell into the pit. I'm like, how about the new guy that just came out of nowhere? That reported the incident.
Well, maybe it was a common thing for him to be drunk every day. You never know that.
Not to mention Martinez.
Where do they keep finding this booze?
In the cigarettes, man.
And I'm not drinking 2-year-old beer.
Yeah, the skunk stuff, man. I thought it was funny, and I'm glad they pointed it out. They mentioned that, like, he wants more skunk beer. I'm like, I was happy about that because
I was thinking that too. Like, somebody has to say something about this. It's just ridiculous.
I'd fucking drink rubbing alcohol if it was a zombie apocalypse just to get hammered.
You wouldn't last too long. That shit would just dissolve your liver after about 2 bottles. Yeah, Todd would be a whole lot of useful during the zombie apocalypse, all hopped up on rubbing alcohol.
But and it's like I said, we've got this situation where they just come to the easy conclusion. I was under the impression that the two second in commands to Martinez were kind of aware who the governor was. And Martinez's past with Woodbury and all that stuff. But even if they weren't, that's what I was under the impression of. But even not, he must have got drunk. This new guy who came out of nowhere that looks like fucking Long John Silver and shady as all get out says this is what happened, so it happened. There's no detective work going on there. And another thing is, remember, Martinez died, and you have, I don't even remember his name, the guy that got it next. And he's like, well, I'm the leader now. And everybody's like, we want to vote. Okay, the governor kills that guy,
Pete.
and then okay, but then all of a sudden, next scene, and the governor's in charge. Like, whoa, what happened to all the people that wanted to vote? They're just going to be like, yeah, this guy's cool. This guy just came out of nowhere. Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
No,
I do, but I think I think what they're trying to do is kind of just rush and hurry up the demise of the governor with it. So they're not going to really spend too much time tying up loose ends. I think.
I don't understand why Martinez turned the other cheek so quick. I mean, that guy's obviously crazy, even after 2 months. I mean,
I think that's kind of just a respect issue that the governor was the alpha and Martinez was the lapdog. Mm-hmm. So even though the governor went over the edge and Martinez deserted him, he's still going to have. I mean, it's not compassion. It's almost just kind of fear driven. I think.
Yeah.
I want to.
That, especially because he's seen fully what the governor's capable of. So
I want to make a point. Okay, first of all, we had the whole thing where they went on a run after Martinez was gone, and they found that one other camp, which, by the way, they were it seemed like they were 10 feet away from these other people. Like, how do you just not know this? But, you have the one guy, I don't know, you have the younger brother, I assume younger, is like, hey, let's rob him. Mm. And, of course, the guy who's assumed command, no, we're not doing that. Okay, they step away, and it just seemed like a second later. I don't know how much later time passed before they went back, and the camp was wiped out.
The governor obviously did that.
Go ahead,
Aaron. Where'd all the supplies go?
Hey, you throw them in the woods. Who cares where the supplies went?
Yeah, but they also said that they would have heard. They said that walkers did it, so nobody heard any gunshots. There wasn't any screams or anything. Something had to do with something, and even then, still, the governor they didn't want. If the governor would have been the one, I think, to stab that guy in the head that was still alive first and foremost, not that crazy dude.
Yeah. Well, that's the first thing I said. Is like, whoa, the governor, but no, like he's got that machine, he's got that automatic weapon. They would have heard that, and like I said, and also walkers. I don't know, man. All the supplies were gone. That's why that one guy was pissed. He wasn't. What about all the people? Like, man, no, man, they got away with our supplies. See, they were gonna get it anyway. And so who took the supplies then? A bunch of walkers didn't take off with a bunch of trail mix and whatever they had on them. I don't know.
Maybe they did.
Maybe
Give me their trail mix.
Maybe evolution is kicking in now with the zombies, and they're starting to become more intelligent beings. So
one thing I wanted to point out was really fucking cool was that underwater zombie.
That was super cool.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that whole thing is cool because you might ask, wait a second, why didn't you just like stab him in the head before he threw him in the water? Because that's the old governor that kept floating heads in water before. He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's keeping that guy at bay. He's nuts. And those are actually that and another scene are my two favorite scenes because it really solidified that, hey, this is the same crazy SOB we had before. Just him looking down in the water, just with that malicious, I'm a scumbag. And also the scene where first of all, he killed the one guy, obviously, and then he goes up to his brother in the trailer at gunpoint, and he's manipulating this guy. Like, this just shows you the sociopath this guy just killed his own brother, and he's still going along with it. Thinking about
he's
how are we going to
do something about it,
Yeah, like, well, what are we going to tell everybody? Like, man, there's always those people. The governor's clearly the alpha male. He's the Charlie Manson, this great manipulator. And then you have this guy, which I don't know. There's always going to be that guy. And I don't know if that's the equivalent to like a Milton, or I don't know who it is, but I don't know. But that's power, man. And he could have killed that guy. Maybe it would have looked right.
And I think you were onto something with maybe Martinez opened his mouth and said something to the guys beforehand, like right after he came into camp or something, to put the fear of God in these people. But
well, I don't know. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of that. Like, what's his angle? I mean, yeah, if he would have killed his brother too, maybe that would have been too suspicious. Like, okay, they're all dead now. All the three, or maybe it was all part. I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to kill your brother. It's a power thing. I don't know what it is because it's like
it's totally a power thing. And like I said, the guy basically is just like Martinez, and Martinez had to go obviously because his role is now filled by somebody else, and obviously he's not a leader, so he's just dead weight to the governor more or less. And then Pete had to go because his intentions were pure, but at the same time he's just kind of in the governor's way. So
it's too passionate.
His compassion might be seen as a trait of weakness. So
it was all manipulated. I love that scene though, like the whole thing. You did the right thing. I don't care if you killed that old man or not. Whatever your brother was doing. I agree. That's exactly the way the governor thinks. But at the same time, man, kind of getting into his head a little bit. Stick with me. I don't know. Trying to game loyalty.
It's kind of like you said, it's a manipulation thing. So he's like, I don't care who the hell you kill. He's basically giving the guy the green light, just saying, if you stick with me and you can do whatever the hell you want, I don't care. Just as long as you have me put my stamp of approval on it, that's all that matters.
And you guys really didn't get into why the governor skipped town, and you see all the zombies in the mud and like that.
Well, that was the.
Did he just come to?
That was I thought that was the camp that got slaughtered. I thought that was them as walkers now.
Oh, really?
Oh, well, but it looked like they were in quicksand, and I didn't see any tents or anything around. So it almost just kind of looked like a roaming pack of zombies got caught in some quicksand, and they're just stuck there.
I don't know. We don't have any idea. We have no sense of geography. I don't know where everything is, but it's like I just figured
goddamn map.
Yeah. I just figured, wherever it is, they kind of travel in packs now, it seems. I figured they just kind of started wandering down the road and they hit a big mud hole or whatever you're talking about. I don't know.
And then he changed his mind when he figured out he couldn't get through.
Yeah, that's another thing. That kind of went by kind of fast. That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, okay, we got to go. Do you trust me? Yes, I trust you. Like I said, even though I've only known you a day, I trust you. And what was funny also is they're all in the car leaving, and the lesbian came along. Like,
that totally blew my mind. That totally blew my mind too, because she's like, especially because she's like, what's the girl's name? Like Cheryl or something weird like that.
Somebody.
But, yeah, her sister, the girl who's with the governor's like, oh, and so and so has Cheryl now. I'm like, well, it's not like you guys are fucking married. You've been together for like 2 days. You don't need to like do everything together. And if one of you, says you're gonna, chances are if one of you says you're gonna leave, the other one, if they're already established in the camp, will be like, fuck off then, see ya.
Yeah, people live life in the fast lane in the post-apocalyptic world, but
there's not enough hatchet wounds to go around.
Yeah. But
maybe there's just not enough lesbians to go around, so they kind of gotta.
You know, in a time like that where the Earth's population is in peril, you should be thinking about doing it the Christian way and increasing the population. We don't. I mean, come on, really?
Okay, one other thing I wanted to talk about real quick was what was the governor muttering after he killed Martinez? Because
he was saying, "I don't want it. I don't want it." And the last thing Martinez
he wanted to
said
share
was,
power.
Well, the thing, I don't know what he was talking about, because the last thing Martinez said was, I don't know, I thought that maybe we could share the crown. Like almost like a gesture of respect, like Pat said. But, so he was saying, I don't want it. That kind of seems out of context, but he's also kind of crazy. Was he talking about, was he saying,
he doesn't want to share? Or?
Was he saying, I don't want it as in, I don't want what you're offering? Or was he saying, I don't want it as, because he said, he kind of made it seem like, he wanted, I don't know, I kind of felt like he made it clear that he wasn't going to be able to protect everybody. I don't know what he was talking about.
Maybe he did really have a bad dream, and he was dreaming of getting raped by some, like, that creepy uncle back in the day when he was a kid or something.
I don't know, dude. He's crazy, man. And I mean, we'll get into it later, but I like this episode a lot better than the last one. But it's back to that really conflicted character. But
I think the lines of him being conflicted are completely. I think that's kind of gone now.
Yeah.
I think, his manipulation and stuff like that, and from the previews of the next episode, which I find kind of silly because he's just doing the exact same thing that he did with Woodbury, except now he has a tank.
He has a tank and he has less people.
A lot less people, but a tank and a lesbian.
Yeah. Right, and the prison is armed to the teeth because they stole all the weapons from Woodbury and everything. Well, you figure they would anyways. But it's the sheer number. I mean, obviously we all know how this is going to conclude towards the end of the season, or I don't know.
Next week's the big mid-season finale.
I know, and it looked like it was pretty action-packed. So maybe this whole thing will kind of get maybe shored up. I don't know. We could kind of get into that with predictions later, but
maybe Stumpy's going to die this episode.
I think he's going to die, dude. He's going.
You kind of got to figure, since he's that close to Michonne and Herschel. Yeah. Right away, just in the scene where he was standing outside the prison, he probably a shot fired or something like that.
He's overstayed his welcome. But they even said, like, on the next Walking Dead, didn't they say, like, and people will die, or big players? They tell you, and it's
they basically tell you.
The governor's going to last till the end of the season, though.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of a tease to go into all this backstory 3 episodes into him dying, But at the same time, something very different has to happen in the next season. They have to move on from the prison. I still think that's going to happen. And if the governor runs off into the woods again, like Sasquatch, that's just like, okay, we've done this 2 times now, and he's just going to come back. So I think I'm kind of on the middle here. I think he's going to go, but at the same time, it's like, really, they're doing all this build up just for him to go 2 episodes later. But that's what I would vote.
I don't think he's going to die, but then part of you thinks so because he's not going to get the prison, from Rick.
Right.
Because I mean, what would happen after that? Okay, they get the prison, Rick's still alive, and where would they go? I mean, they wouldn't try to get it back because that's a never-ending cycle, man.
I think this is a good place actually to go into our predictions for the next
50
episode.
other fucking states move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rebuild Woodbury. You shouldn't have burned the fucker down.
I'm sorry, my math nor my geography is that hard. There's 49 other states.
Go somewhere where maybe the zombies are prone to cold weather. Maybe they're susceptible to extreme cold. Maybe they suck in cold.
Well, they're organic matter, so at some point they'd freeze in place. So move to fucking Canada. You could take them out. Or Alaska or somewhere where it's cold. You don't have to worry about them because you can move faster than them.
Just Michigan or something. I mean, just whatever. But it's a good.
No, thank you.
New Hampshire.
This is a good place to go into our predictions next episode. And like I said, I'm always kind of conflicted, but I think it's kind of weird how they would do it, set up the governor like this. But yeah, I don't see him coming back and them just beating a dead horse. Like, okay, they lost the battle and the governor runs with his tail between his legs and he go recruits more people? I think this is what's going to happen. I think the raid's going to go down, obviously, and when they say people will die, I think the governor will die. As far as his family, dude, who knows, man? Maybe Rick will take him in. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they'll die. But I think the governor will die. I think Herschel's going to die. I think it's all going to end here, and they're going to move on, I think, and then they're going to go on to greener pastures. The prison will get totally compromised in the process. You know, there's a tank, for God's sakes. Like, it's going to get to a point where we can't. But we've never moved on from the flu thing. People are still sick.
I know.
It's like we haven't even because the way I understood was this episode ended where the last time we saw Rick and Carl bonding ended, where they were kind of burying the bodies. He was looking at them, and we saw the governor. So they're still dealing with that. So, like I said, the time is all weird in the Walking Dead world. So now we're kind of back where we started. It's kind of like, well, this is what's going on with this guy while this was happening. So we still don't have Carol resolved. We still don't know what Daryl and everybody thinks about that. We haven't seen Daryl in like month. I don't know.
He's had like maybe 5 lines the entire season.
Yeah, and which blows me away. I mean, the most popular character, I thought he would start becoming, the Urkel. It's like, remember how in like Family Matters, it was a show about the Winslows. Like, hey, this nerd kid is popular through the ratings. We're gonna make him the star of the show.
That's why we got Stefan.
Hey, I love Stefan. Let me talk smack.
Stefan. But so that's
Shake
what I
me,
think is
wake
gonna happen.
me, and break me, but baby, don't forsake me.
Oh, we can all like go and put our cassettes on of Shy later. But right now we got to talk about Fast Eddie Winslow. We got to talk about The Walking Dead. I think that's what's going to happen. As far as where they're going to go, I have no idea. I think the governor's going to end here. If not, I mean, they might do the cliffhanger thing, and the governor might die at the first. I don't know, but I think it's going to end. I think it's done. I think they're going to move on. I'm sticking to my guns on that.
And I hope the governor doesn't die this next episode. I do see what you're saying, and it wouldn't surprise me after what you're talking about, because
I want it to happen.
The thing I want to happen is I want them out of the prison. I mean, I'm so sick of the whole prison story, and if they want to take it over, fine, so be it. But I don't want to see the rest of the season in a prison, and of course I want to see a lot of people die. Of course, Herschel and Glenn, obviously Glenn.
I want to see somebody get run over by the tank. It'd be a crying shame. I want to see like Glenn or like Stumpy. He can't run a tank, and then he like trips and falls in a pothole, and then he just gets run over. And I want to see him slowly get run over, like Judge Doom in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Like slowly get run over, like. I mean, but that's basically what I think is going to happen as far as details. And there's expendable people. I mean, the governor's entire new camp could die. I think that lesbian is totally expendable. She's being set up to die. The new chick that what's her face met. I don't know any of the new names. I'm totally.
I like where you're going with them taking in the governor's new wife and daughter,
because they've developed her enough. They've developed her and that daughter enough, and she's still new enough to where if they kill the governor now. They could put some sense into her. Like, this dude's bad. Like, before you're too brainwashed, come on over this side.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're too far gone. And they're not. This show's been, at least last season or whatever, they've been kind of pussies in the sense of killing kids. The girl's not going to go. That's my guess. And as far as big players go, I mean, I think Herschel. When they say big players, it's usually kind of a disappointment. There's one kind of main character and a bunch of expendable people. But Herschel, the governor. I would love it if Glenn dies, just because I think
Tyrese.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. Some of these people I forget about because they just kind of go off into different story arcs, and you forget about it. And like I said, I've already forgotten about the Carol thing, but yeah, those are all good guesses. That's pretty much where I stand. So, what do you guys think?
I kind of threw my 2 cents in there too. So let's move on to Pat.
I totally agree. I think the prison's going to get all fucked up. So they're going to have to leave, and I think the second half of the season will be kind of dealing with that. What I'm kind of wondering is how are they going to deal, because it showed the scene in the next episode preview with them standing outside the fence facing down Rick and stuff like that. How are they going to deal with all the walkers that keep kind of flocking towards the prison? And we still never got a definitive explanation as to who was cutting open the rats. Obviously we assume it was the little girl who kind of felt bad for the zombies, so she was feeding them. But if there's that many of them outside the prison at any given time, how are they going to deal with that and try to attack the prison at the same time? Or maybe they'll use them as kind of like a weapon, how they did in the last season when they drove the zombie filled truck and just let the thing off in the prison. I think Glenn will die. I think Herschel will die. I'm still kind of torn on whether or not the governor will die, because I think they might keep him around. I'm still on the fence. I know I said last week they'll kill him like the first episode after the midseason break, but I'm honestly kind of siding with Todd with thinking they're going to keep him around maybe towards the end of the.
They should kill him at the end of the season. They should kill him, but
I think
he's too good of a character.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what they think they'll do with that, but I think I might call it and say they will kill him in this next episode, though, just because I think they feel like that. It just feels like there's a sense of urgency when it comes to wrapping up that storyline
True.
anymore.
Yeah.
So
I'm torn. I'm really torn.
I am too, but as for sake of actually making a prediction, I'm gonna say they will kill him. Yeah.
I think it'd be a very interesting twist if Glenn, in his last dying breath, decided to give himself and kill the governor by making out with him. I'm giving you my sickness. Puts his tongue in his mouth.
And finally next week the governor will get the roof fixed on the trailer.
Oh, duct tape's not holding up anymore.
For Christ's sakes, they haven't shown it rain, I don't think, a single fucking time in the Walking Dead universe in the span of all the seasons, but there's water dripping from the ceiling of their trailer. Where the hell did it come from?
They keep emphasizing that too. I mean, what's the big deal? Why do they keep showing that?
Is Martinez up there pissing on it or something?
Yeah.
God,
Getting
man,
all that liquor out of
that's
the
a mention,
system.
dude. That's the era I need to live in, because I'm not a Mr. Fix It. Like, you need to be a man, be the alpha male of your family, and fix that roof. Pulls out duct tape. You know?
Yeah,
Like, I can do that.
he's so resourceful, helping build this giant town in the middle of the zombie apocalypse, kind of this like utopian little area. And they ask him to fix a roof, and he pulls out a roll of duct tape. You know, like he's not up there with like, you know, waterproof, trying to find waterproofing supplies or even like another piece of wood or something like that to cover a little hole. He's with duct tape.
Moving on to ratings.
Going on to ratings, like I said, I like this episode more. I enjoyed the last episode. I enjoy this one more because, like I said, it gave me more of the governor I like. And it had some really cool scenes, man. I mean, there were some cool Walker scenes we mentioned in the water. That was kind of neat, but it really wasn't about violence. It wasn't so much a violent episode or any of that. But like I said, I thought the scenes with the governor going back to the original fold of things was really powerful. Him talking to the younger brother, manipulating him, the whole scene looking over the water zombie. I enjoyed it. It was a powerful episode, I guess, and I'm glad at least it closed off right. Like, okay, the next episode we're gonna get something big. I don't know. It set it up pretty well. I don't know what did I give the last one. I know I ask you this every week.
7 or I don't know.
We really need to start writing this stuff down for Aaron because he can't be bothered to remember it from week to week.
No.
He'll change
Okay.
it by the end anyway. So
Oh yeah,
whatever.
good point.
I'm
By
gonna
the
say-
end of like the sentence. So
yeah.
I'm gonna say this one was an 8.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Alright.
give it an 8 because I enjoyed it. I thought it was a cool episode. I liked the whole golf club to the head. I liked the deceit. I liked Todd. Really loved the lesbians. Sorry, Riverman. Blech. By the way, that's an afternote, by the way. I want to say something really quick, and I meant to say it at the top of the hour. We got some feedback. Somebody was mentioning about the name situation. Like, I understand Riverman's there, and I heard somebody, I think, call him Todd, and are you Aaron? Are you Goose? Here's the thing. Riverman loves Riverman. He likes being called Riverman. We've called him that for a long time. He's Riverman. I've known Riverman for 15 years. So on occasion, I'm probably going to call him by his Christian name. So deal with it. I'll try not to do it. Pat is Pat. He's not throaty. He's not skippy. He's not sporty. He's Pat. And me, you know what? I've got the nickname Goose. I don't necessarily like it. I'm totally cool if you call me that. I kind of like going by my Christian name. So, you'll hear me called Aaron. You might hear him call me Goose. It is what it is. You guys might refer to me as Goose in some of the feedback. That's fine. But just know who we are. I'm Aaron, Riverman, and Pat. But on to that. My score was an 8. Riverman, what is your score?
Mine would actually be a little higher. Mine would be a 9.
Ooh.
Wow.
Because the governor knocked off some key characters. I mean, they weren't key because we just met them, but the fact that they were like the big guns of the camp right away. I mean, it was just like boom, boom. The whole golf club to the head. It caught me off guard. I knew he was going to kill Martinez one way or another. I didn't think it was going to happen in this episode. I thought Martinez at least had some balls to, keep him under lockdown and everything like that, because knowing his past and killing everybody else. But that scene really got me. I love that scene. And then the fact that he drowned that other guy and had the zombie underneath the water, which, like you were saying earlier, I mean, some of the fucked up stuff he does is just, I mean, it's great, man. I love the floating heads, and I love the fact that he does stuff like this. It just makes it that much more, it just makes his character that much more, like, creepy. which I really like. So I would give this a 9 out of 10, and I can't wait. I hope he survives next episode. So,
all right, Pat.
I'm gonna go with a solid 8 on this one. I liked it a lot better than last week's. Like you said, River. I like the zombie and the zombie in the lake is super cool. I like the heads that they found in the cabin that were still trying to eat.
Yeah, that was sweet.
I wonder,
which is unexplained. We never came to the conclusion of who was slicing off heads. But
right. And do you think maybe the governor got a little chubby on for that because maybe reminding him of the old aquarium days? So no, I thought it was great. That like River said, it surprised the hell out of me when he clubbed him with that golf club when it happened, because I thought for sure they would kind of Martinez would kind of try to manipulate the governor a little bit, or kind of just try to humiliate him a little bit, just because that's what the type of character that they kind of painted Martinez to be. So yeah, overall this was a real strong episode, and I'm excited to lead up into next week's finale.
One thing we didn't talk about real quick was the fact that the governor found a picture, and what was the significance of that picture? Because he kept it after he went into the cabin. Was that?
Oh, he kept it.
Yeah. Was that the girls that he's living with now, or did that have something to do with them? Because I couldn't really tell who was in the picture.
Do you guys think they're even going to explain that one body in the woods and then the other ones that are at that cabin?
I think we're going to be left with quite a few unanswered questions, because it's just the season. While it's really good, they're kind of going all over the place,
sure.
And they're not going to answer everything. We'll be lucky if they answer something as big.
You only have an hour
Carol.
a week. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so
that's
cool, man.
I don't think they'll explain all that, so that's unfortunate.
I'm stoked that for once I'm not alone, and Pat is on my side. But anyway, last part of the segment, we said last week that we were going to start having a call-in line, which we do have. Riverman, give him that number.
That's 402-218-2007.
And you guys can call that number any old time. Let us know what you guys think is going to happen in the next episode. If you guys have a question, or if you guys have some, wonderful or nasty feedback for us. And we're going to start going over that every week before the episode concludes. Starting with this week, I want to first, before we go into a caller, I want to go into some feedback we got via the website. Let's see here. Veronica from California, she agrees that the governor will die eventually. Kind of like what we're all saying, she thinks a major cast member is going to die next episode. Tyrese will die, which, Pat, you forgot to kind of say that again.
Oh, yeah. Damn it.
Tyrese is going to die. And she, as she says, in response to Tyrese will die, we can't have a black president and a token black guy in Walking Dead. Ouch. The other black guys are Michonne, who has balls of steel, and the alcoholic black guy. So I agree. Racism aside, it's true, man. This is the politics of TV. It seems we got too many different kinds of people running around, and they're gonna axe them. Actually, Michonne dying would be an interesting twist. But I think what River said a couple episodes back, Michonne killing the governor would be poetic justice, being the one to kill the governor. So, and other than that, Veronica gave tons of amazing, great feedback, and thank her for listening, and thanks for the great insight. Next up, we're going to get into a call from Dale Roy. He's one of the hosts of the Exploited Cinema podcast as well. You can find them on iTunes. Really good chap. And let's go to his call.
Hey, guys. It's Dale Roy from Exploited Cinema podcast calling. Just thought I'd share a few thoughts on the last Walking Dead episode and the last episode of Behind the Mask. Firstly, I thought it was a nice change of pace with the governor-centric episode. Really kind of fleshed things out and made you start giving a shit about the governor and the girls he was with, so it'll mean something when they get greased later on. And as I mentioned on the Facebook, I think more time has passed than 2 months with regards to the beard. I think it's probably more like 5 or 6 months, because we've skipped winter again, and I wish they'd give us winter, but I guess that's probably expensive. I wanted to say also I agreed with you guys with the zombie in the tub. That was pretty sick. I love that. And the girl who pretended to be a cop, she has pretty nice tits, so that was nice on this show where you don't really get much in the way of racks. As for the oxygen tank thing, I thought the reason he had trouble with the walkers was because the governor, I think at this point he was really weak. Like it looked like he had decided that it was time to give up, like he was just going to die. And he'd stopped eating. He looked skinnier. Like he was just about to, I think, well on his way to like basically kicking the bucket when he saw his sweet little penny replacement up in the window, and that changed everything. I loved the gore in the pit. It was totally gratuitous, and then like the governor wouldn't carry a knife or something at least. He had to do it all hand-to-hand combat, such as the old Roadhouse throat ripping, which he knew was going to do nothing. But you know what? It looked cool, so I'll take it. Overall, though, I thought this episode was nicely shot, and it kind of had an atmosphere that was different than the mainstay of the show, and it was a nice change of pace, like I said. I also wanted to mention that never change the Behind the Mask intro, outro music, because I love that shit. So like Goblin-like or whatever. It's fucking killer. And lastly, I better wrap this up because I'm getting late tonight. So I better run or I'll be late for my date with Goose's mother. How's that Misfit song go again? Doesn't matter much to me as long as she spreads.
Well, we're really stoked, Dale. You really like the show, man. And, dude, it makes me personally happy to hear you like our theme. Whatever. Dale, I think you're a horror fan, so you respect the angle we were going on that. You thought it sounded Goblin-esque. Personally, I was going for an 80s Return of the Living Dead feel on that. And despite what anybody else would say, we're never going to get rid of that. It's our staple. Even if, we go into other stuff other than horror, I love that theme.
It's our calling card. All the great ones leave their mark.
Absolutely.
We're the wet bandits.
We're the sticky bandits. And you know what? I pretty much opened the floodgates for you to make the comment about my mom. I'll let you know that she'll be free this weekend. She'll probably be up for it, man. So,
he probably already knows.
Just, But whatever. He kept it pretty classy until we got the Misfits line. But anyway, thank you for that. Keep listening. Keep calling in. Keep leaving feedback. Other than that, I think we're ready to wrap it up here. Appreciate you all guys listening as well. Keep it coming. Comment on the YouTube page. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Behind the Mask Podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Behind the Mask Presents. The website, of course, BehindTheMaskPresents.com.
And leave your feedback at 402-218-2007.
Leave your feedback at, what was that number again?
402-218-2007.
And we will play it on the show. I mean, pretty much, we're not, like I said, realistically, unless it's going to get us in trouble with the White House, we're going to play whatever you put. If it's ugly against us, we don't care. We love this stuff. So,
especially if it's going to get in trouble with us in trouble with the White House, we'll play it. What are you talking about?
And it's discreet. You call in, it goes straight to a voicemail. None of us is going to answer on the shitter or anything like that. It's not going to be weird, and it'll be a fun time. You don't have to give us your name or nothing. But yeah, leave feedback there or leave it on any of the pages, like I said, and follow us on Twitter at BTM Presents. And also, as a side note, once again, I want to remind people, Walking Dead heads, chances are you're fans of all kinds of horror. And not just horror. Maybe you're all film buffs. Just want to let you guys know that during the off-season of The Walking Dead, we have our regular podcast where we talk about everything from horror, mainstream blockbusters, action films. That's where my heart truly lies. And anything and everything. We'll talk about music and games. So if you dig us now, you're going to really dig us then too. So subscribe, like I said, to all those channels and be on board for that as well. I've been Aaron.
Riva.
Pat.
And that's it. We appreciate you. Come back next week. See you.
Good night, Canada.